What's our time at? 7:59. All right. Slight discrepancy in time, but how are we going, guys? We are going to be looking at the day 2 paper for 2021. We're going to be looking at question 2 today, just because I did question 1 the other day. We'll do question 2 today, and then I'll try and do question 3 during next week's stream, and then I'll put it all I'll stitch it up all together, hopefully by next week Sunday. Eric Rollers, welcome back, man. How you been? Are you doing level 2 now or level 3? I can't even remember because it's a while back. Anyway, guys, so what we're going to do is, as I said to you guys before, we're going to work through question 2 from day 2 of the paper. As always, what I'll do is I'll leave the question up. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to have a go at this question, and then I will go through the answers just to show you guys what you need to do for Achieve Merit Excellence, the usual stuff, yeah? But at the same time, you know, we'll kind of have a little chat between each question, so it's not all just work. True, nearly finished 13. Are you doing calculus this year, Eric? So if you guys are joining us, we're going to be doing this question. I'm going to be going through it at 8:03. Let's go with 8:03. I'll actually go through the answer for this question. But if you guys want to have a go by yourself, you can. And then at 8:03, I'll have a crack at this. What are you planning to do, Eric, when you finish school? Rania, I don't think you need to be scared, kid, because it's like, what do we got? This is 14th of August, so you've still got about a month left. You know, you can still do a lot of practice between now and then. You'll be okay. Just yeah. See, as Eric Rollers said, like, just practice a lot of the past papers. I think like all the exam papers are up there. And this is one of the biggest things I can tell you guys as well. Like, don't just watch my video. Some people think watching the video is good enough. What you really want to be doing is, as Eric is saying, you know, you got to practice these questions. So you got to do the question along. Sometimes it's better to do the question and then watch the video to see where you're making mistakes. Yeah, Samia, you could do that, or up on my playlist, if you go into where is it? I will show you guys. Let me see if this is going to work or not. Sometimes it doesn't. There we go. It does work. So if you go to my main, under my main page, under NCEA Level 1 Exams Revision, you are going to find MCAT worked answers. So if you just click on the View Full Playlist, that's got all of the past exam papers worked answers, all the way up till 2013, I believe. I got bored and I did a couple of 2011 ones, but they become a little bit irrelevant after that. But anything above 2016 is actually worth working on. Yeah, Eric, I'm not gonna lie, like, taking a break is not a bad idea at this point, because you know, like, just try and figure out what you want to do, man, because like, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say, like, just figure out what you want to do before you invest in university, because it's like, you know, you end up paying a couple of grand, and next thing you know, you're like me, swapping after a year of engineering. Milo Clay, I'm not understanding your question. Do you know, because I've been looking everywhere, to year 10 level? I think it works by the calendar year. You know, I'm not sure, Milo. Like, I know a while back it was like it had to be a calendar year, unless your school decides to actually not enter your grades in that year, but then they enter it next year, and there's some, a few things, but like, don't quote me on that. Like, I don't know, just kind of hear things. Yeah. All right, look, anyway, let's get through this question here. I am going to be recording this at the same time as well on the other side, guys, just so that I don't have to repeat myself. So I probably will go off chat for like a couple of minutes while I try and do this question. Okay, so question 1, what we've got here is, what's the area of the square with the side of length 4y plus 7? So we've got a square here. Just going to draw a rough little shape here. And we've got the side, which is 4y plus 7. Now remember, this is a square, which means all 4 sides are equal to each other. So I also know that the height of this square is going to be 4y plus 7. Now we're asked to work out what the area is. Now the area for a square or any kind of rectangle shape is like base times height. So we've got 4y plus 7 multiplied by 4y plus 7. Now at this point you might decide to do FOIL. I don't know, like people have like so many different ways of doing this. And as I say in every video, just do the one that's actually comfortable for you. And as long as you get to the final answer and simplify that final answer, you're pretty much good to go. So what do I mean by simplification? Like some people do this. So 4y and 4y is 16y squared. And then they got 28y, another 28y plus 49. Now, if you leave your answer like this, you're not going to get an achieved. You need to simplify it because you need to collect your like terms, which is 28y and 28y. And putting them together, you're going to get 16y squared plus 56y plus 49. And you can, if you want to, you can actually write down what ABC is, but really it's just asking you for in the form. And because it's asking you for in the form, you can actually leave your question like this, which it will get you an achieved. So guys, if you have any questions about this one, and if you're happy with it, then I'm happy to move on to the next question, but I'll hang around in the chat. I'm just checking the chat just to see if there's any questions. And if you're good, then we can go to question number 2B. Which school are you from, Eric? Wait, you based in... Nice, Rania. I'm glad it's getting passed along. Did your brother do maths as well, Rania, or is he already done with it? Kingsway. Kingsway. Where is Kingsway? Kingsway School. Red Beach. Wow, I don't even know where this school is. Okay, anyway, look. Kind of get distracted. But anyway, let's go to question 2B, right? It's probably one of my favorite questions here, question 2B. I'll leave it up for you guys, and what I'll do is I'm going to go through the answer at about 8:11, all right? So it gives you about 3.5 minutes to kind of play around with it. So have a go, and then I'll go through the answer at 8:11. Meanwhile, I'll answer Kingsway. I'm just having a look at Kingsway. Where is this Kingsway? Oh, Whangaparova, is it? No. Are you out by Whangaparova, Eric? Yeah, that's quite a lovely place down there. Nice. Level 3 calc. Yeah, I've got to kind of get back on to doing some work on that. Now, if you're stuck in this question, guys, remember that you have to write everything with base 2. That's kind of like my hint for you. And I'm going to kind of stop there so that you can kind of have a go at it by yourself. And if you do get an answer, feel free to throw it up on the chat. Can it be 16 for base? Ooh, 16 for base. It is possible. I'm sorry, man, I gotta call you W because I can't read the rest of the characters. But 16 is possible, but you're gonna make it quite complicated by putting 16 as the base. What you'd want to do is you'd actually want to have 2 as the base. So you want to replace 16 with 2 to the power of 4. That might actually help. Pretty much W. You want to bring it down as low as possible. Generally working with prime numbers. So in these kind of in MCAT particularly, they do 2, 3, 5. Sometimes they do 10, but that's about it. Nice, Samia. Rania, you might want to check your numbers. I think you've got slight bit of algebraic. Something you missed with the manipulation. So W, I wish I could know your full name, but it's really weird calling a person W. But yeah. So you want to do it as less as possible, right? So 2, 3, 5, 10. I don't think they use like 7 or 11 because it just gets too big for you guys. Okay, guys, we're close to 811, so might as well get cracking with this question. Nice, we got a few people that are with y equals to 4. By the way, if you got y equals to 4 and you're pretty comfortable with that, that is a merit question, by the way, just to show you the difficulty of these types of questions. All right, now merit question, if I'm correct, I think 3 merits gets you a merit. So here we go. This is that should build your confidence whenever you see a question like this. All right. So when you see a question like this, the first thing you want to be doing is getting rid of those, putting them in the same basis. So with question B, as I said before, what you want to be doing is you want to rewrite 16 as 2 to the power of 4. So we're going to rewrite this as 2 to the power of 2y multiplied by 2 to the power of 2y minus 12 equals 16 is written as 2 to the power of 4. Now, before we get rid of the base, we've got to combine the powers on the left-hand side. Because remember, if you have something like this, 2 to the power of a times 2 to the power of b, this is equal to 2 to the power of a plus b. And so I'm going to do that here and replace this with 2y plus 2y minus 12 is equal to 2 to the power of 4. Once I do that, I can get rid of the 2 bases because it's on both sides you've got base 2. So I can rewrite this as now 2y plus 2y minus 12 equals to 4. I'm going to combine my like terms. So 2y and 2y is 4y. So 4y minus 12 is equal to 4. 4y is equal to 4. And of course, minus 12 when it comes to this side is going to become plus 12. So we've got 4y equals to 16. And y is equal to 16 divided by 4. Which means we are going to get y is equal to 4. So grades wise for this question, as I mentioned to you guys, where was the grades? So correct value of y found is going to get you a merit. So this part right here is going to get you a merit. Consistently forming a linear equation from a base of 2. So I would say if you get up to this line here, you could also get achieved. Simplification of the powers of 2 on the left hand side gets you an achieved. So if you get this right here, you could also get an achieved for that. So as you guys can see, you know, it is a merit question, but a couple of places where you could actually get that achieved grade from. All right, let's go back to the chats here. How'd you guys find that question? Was that all good? Can we move on to the next question? Eric, I have to say, like, you know, Fall Guys, man, I think Fall Guys or Stumble Guys, I think which one I was playing, I can't remember. Because I was playing it on the iPad, right? Because it's like my students all play it. But anyway, 2 weeks ago, I was playing, I finally got around to playing Roblox, which was like, my kids just keep bugging me about it. But look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up question C. And then you guys can have a crack at question C. And I'm going to give you guys maybe up to 818. Let's go with 818. We'll go through this. Yeah, so I ended up playing this game called Mimic on Roblox, and I think my kids were kind of hoping that I'd probably get scared, but I was just sitting there playing that, and I was like, it's all right, it's not too bad, but I think I actually want to play that probably like one of those late nights when nobody's in the house and it's like all dark, because then it'll be like truly scary, I think. But other than that, it was like when I was playing with my kids, it wasn't actually that much scary. Anyway, question C, guys. We've got a couple of fractions, algebraic fractions here, and of course we're trying to figure out what y is. So have a go. I've given you guys quite a bit of time for this one, and then at 8:18 we'll go through the answer. Yeah, see, like people kind of go look at these questions at level 1 and go, I'm not gonna really, I don't really kind of need this. But then when you come to calculus and you start seeing the complex conjugates and complex numbers, it's like, it's almost like a must, right? Every excellence question, the proof question in calculus ends up with fractions. So yeah, quite handy to know these things. Gee, what the hell happened to this guy? 28. By the way, guys, this question is an excellence question, so have a go as to just to see how far you actually go with this question, because like I said to you, sometimes even working through a question to a particular point can get you an achieved or a merit, even if you don't solve the question, all right? So what you don't want to do is you don't want to leave the question empty at all. You want to try and attempt and answer it as far as you can. And even if you think you're absolutely wrong, it doesn't matter. Just do what you need to. Eric, no, I think I did complex numbers, and then I did differentiation question 1 last week. I'll do question 2 this week, and depending how I feel, I might actually do try and finish it off in the weekend if I get some time. And then I've got to do integration. Integration, I think I might actually do it with you guys, because it's just like, you know, there's a lot of questions people ask, and it's just easier doing like a live stream and do the questions at the same time. But really, I think I'm just like, I got so much work at the moment that I find live streaming and recording at the same time like a little bit easier than to do it all in one shot, because one shot just burns my voice like anything. Nothing wrong in joining us, not Nathan. Can still pick up a few things for next year, man. Infinitum, welcome back. But anyway, look, let's get back to this question here. All right, I'm gonna go quiet on the chat, guys, while I go and concentrate on this question. Okay, so with question C, what we've got is a lovely fraction question, all right? And with these types of questions, like I said before, you want to make sure that you attempt the question as far as you can. Just because, you know, it's one of those questions where you can pick up some achieved and merit even if you don't solve the question. All right, so we've got to actually make the denominator the same. And one of the things that I tend to do is I tend to kind of like rewrite this, but just with a little bit of extra space. So I do something like this. Let's go 3y plus 4 equals 2y plus 1. All right, so the reason why I did this is because I actually can see that the denominator here is y minus 4, and the denominator here is y plus 4. So what do I want to do is I want to have the two denominators to be the same, which means on that left-hand fraction, I need to multiply by y plus 4 and y plus 4 in the numerator. And as for the right-hand side fraction, I got to multiply by y minus 4 in the numerator and denominator. So that's what I'm going to do. So I've got, just going to put this in a bracket, y plus 4 and y plus 4. And then on this side, I've got y minus 4 and y minus 4. And that's part of the reason why I write this with a little bit of space. Now, if you look at the numerator then, in the numerator, that's the top line, you've got 3y plus 4 minus 3y minus 4. And because the two denominators are the same, I can actually put the two denominators together now. And of course, don't forget the everything on the other side of the equal sign. So at this point, what I can do is I can actually expand the brackets. So I've got to expand these. I've got to expand this. So I got a whole lot of expanding to do. So I've got 3y plus 12 minus 3y plus 12. All that is over y squared minus 4y plus 4y minus 16 equals 2 times y plus 1. Okay, so I'm going to simplify the numerator and denominator. So in this case, I'm going to get 24 over y squared minus 16 equals 2 over y plus 1. Hope I've got a left enough gap there. I think I have. So now I've got this, I can actually cross multiply, and I'm going to get 24 multiplied by y plus 1 equals 2 multiplied by y squared minus 16. So once again, I've got to expand the brackets. I've got 24y plus 24 equals 2y squared minus 32. Let's see if I still got space. Now I'm going to write this up here. So we've got 24y plus 24 equals 2y squared minus 32. So at this point, I'm going to bring everything together so I can form a nice quadratic. So I'm going to get 0 equals 2y squared minus 32. And of course, I've got minus 24y minus 24. So simplifying this, I'm going to get 2y squared minus 24y minus 56. And at this point, I can see that 2 is a common factor, so I can take 2 out as a common factor. I'm going to get y squared minus 12y minus 28. And then, of course, I can take the 2 to the other side. Then it'll become 0 divided by 2. Now, 0 divided by 2 is just 0. So I'm going to get y squared minus 12y minus 28 equals to 0. Okay, I got a nice little quadratic equation here. And so I'm going to factorize it. So I've got y, I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 28 and add up to minus 12. So I've got minus 14 and plus 2. So here I can say that y minus 14 equals to 0, or y plus 2 equals to 0. So in the first instance, I've got y equals to 14. And in the second instance, I've got y equals to negative 2. So grades wise, getting both of these solutions is going to get you an excellence. As for the merit, I want to show you guys what you can actually do for merit. So for an award of merit, correctly remove denominators. So I would say probably this line here is going to get you a merit. You make a mistake here, but you get like the right answer. You make a mistake here and then you get the incorrect answer, but you know, if you had fixed that right, you would have got it right. Kind of like the consistent solutions. That's what they mean by that. So you could have made a mistake here, but the rest of your problem was correct. You could still get a merit. Combining into a single fraction, numerator must be simplified. Combining into a single fraction. Oh, wow, that's a merit. So this part right here could also be a merit. Numerator must be simplified. So that means if I go back to my working, we are looking at here to get a merit. Yeah, an achieved correct factorization of so if you make like a mistake, let's go back here. Correctly rearrange this equation to remove denominator. Oh, that's really weird. Trying to figure out how this would actually look like. To be honest, I don't know how you'd rearrange it so that that would work, because if you've done the previous step, you're already going to get a merit. And of course, achieved correct arrangement. Yep. So that's the left hand side, unsimplified expression. So just doing that first line is going to get you and achieved there. So as you guys can see, like lots and lots of opportunities to get grades like achieved merit. But of course, when you've solved the final two solutions, you are actually going to get an excellence. Right. How do we questions? Samia, why do we have to divide 0 by 2? Well, because when we factorize, I'm looking at this line here, Samia. See, we've got this 2 right there, which we need to get rid of. Because it's a common factor, I want to get rid of it, get rid of the common factor. I mean, you don't need to. You could still leave the 2 in there and you can still factorize it and you'll still get the same answer. But it's just like kind of practice is like to not leave numbers like common factors outside. So you can actually bring it to the left hand side or right hand side and go 0 divided by that. Yes, Kante, it is. But what I'll do is I'll actually put it on the chat there so you can have a look at it. There you go. That's the answer schedule there. Both day 1 and day 2 is in there, so you might want to go further down, like I think it's page, great, doesn't it? Oh, page 11. You want to go to page 11 for the answers for this particular question. No worries. Let me know if you guys want me to kind of stay with this question, or if you're happy with it, we can move on to the next question. Let me know what you feel like. Oh wow, I only recorded 10 minutes. Yeah, Rani, I think this is not a bad excellence question, because it's like anytime I see an excellence question with fractions, I'm like, you know, you don't have like complicated like word problems where you have to try and interpret what the question's actually asking. So feel free to ask questions, Samia. You don't have to wait there. If there's any particular sections you're having problems with, let me know. I can number the lines so that it makes it easier for you. Why did I? So you're actually looking, okay, let me put some numbers up there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So just to clarify, you're asking about line number 1. Is that correct, Samia? Looks opposite denominators. So the reason why I did that is because I want to make the denominators the same. And because I want to make the denominators the same, when it comes to algebraic letters, I can't really find the lowest common multiple. So what do I mean by that? Let me show you a couple of examples here, right? So if you have something like 1 over 5 plus 3 over 10, in this case, your lowest common multiple is 10. So you'd only change the denominator for the left-hand side fraction. But if you have something like this, where you have 1 over 5 plus 2 over 3, in this case, you would actually multiply this one by 3 and 3, and this one by 5 and 5, because the lowest common multiple is 15. However, if you have something like this, 1 over 4 plus 1 over 6, you know the lowest common multiple is actually 12. So in this case, you would actually just multiply by 3 and this side here by 2. So as you can see, it really depends on the numbers, right? When you like what you multiply with. But when it comes to algebraic fractions, you don't really know what the number is. And because you don't know what the number is, you have to multiply by the other denominator. So if I have something like 1 over x plus 1 over y, then I would actually have to multiply this denominator by y and numerator by y. And in this case, I've got to multiply the denominator by x and the numerator by x. Hold that thought, and I'm going to give you one more example just to kind of see if this kind of makes sense. What if I have something like this? 1 over x plus 1 over 3x. Now, if this is the case, you've got 1 over x and 1 over 3x, the lowest common multiple is actually 3x. So in this case, you would only multiply the fraction on the left-hand side by 3, because then you'd get 3 over 3x. As for the right-hand side, you don't really do anything to it. You just leave it as it is. So that's kind of like the difference of how to actually deal with fractions. All right, are we good with that? We can go on to the next question. At stage 10, if you couldn't factorize it, what is the best way to find the factors of the numbers? At stage 10, if you couldn't factorize it. Daniel, normally what they do is they give you questions that you should be able to factorize. On the odd occasion, they'll give you like a quadratic equation where the number is, where the where the coefficient of x squared is bigger than 1. So you might get an equation that could look like this. Let me just get rid of all of this stuff here. Still kind of learning this stuff, but so line 10 could also look like this sometimes. So they might actually do something like 0 is equal to 3x squared. Oh, hang on, just give me 1 second. I just want to get this correctly so that you guys don't actually have a problem with it. Let's go 3x minus 1. Yeah, so they might give you a question like this, 3x squared plus 5x minus 2. So, you know, they always will give you a question that's where you're able to factorize, especially if they're asking you to solve the question. They will actually give you equations that you can actually factorize. Look, we're going to do a something like that for the next question, and we'll kind of go through a little bit more. So speak of the devil, here we go. All right, so I will leave this question up for you guys, and I'm going to give you guys, how much time should I give you guys? 1, 2, 3 steps. I'm going to give you till 8:35. So I'll go through the answer at 8:35. If you want to zero, you can. Otherwise, I'm just going to kind of go through the answer very slowly. Interesting. I don't know if you can get an answer for this 0. You've got to simplify as far as possible. So when they generally say simplify, you probably will not get an answer that says x equals 2. You probably will get something like an expression, like something like x plus 2 or x plus, I don't know. whatever it is, we'll try and work it out. All good, all good. Same thing with you, Neil. This is not something where we're solving, so you're probably going to just simplify it. So you shouldn't get an answer that says x equals to 2. Don't know how you guys are getting that. Because normally you'd get a solution if they say solve, but not if they're saying simplify. All right, let's go through this question, guys. Okay, so with question D, what we've got here is simplify as far as possible. So we've got to factorize the numerator and factorize the denominator. Now the denominator is really lovely, nice and simple to kind of factorize, but the numerator is one of those painful quadratic things, right? So I'm going to kind of do that separately here. So I've got 3x squared minus 2x minus 8. And we basically need to bring it into this format where it has two brackets. Now, you might have your own way of doing this, guys, and it's absolutely fine, all right? You can even guess and check if you want to. That's also fine as well. So, like, you know, whether you do the algorithm that I choose, whether you choose quadratic formula, whether you choose to guess and check, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you are going to actually end up with that final two brackets. Now, the way I've been kind of tinkering around with it is I take these two numbers, I multiply them, and I'm going to get negative 24. And the next step is I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 24 and add up to minus 2. Now, I know for in this case, it's going to be minus 6 and 4, minus 6 and 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite that 3x squared minus 2x minus 8 as 3x squared minus 6x plus 4x minus 8. So all I've done here is this going to work? Yeah. So I've taken this minus 6 and 4 and I've actually put that in here. The next part is, of course, I need to split them up into two parts and I need to factorize them. So in my first case, I've got 3x as a common factor. So I'm going to get x minus 2. And in the second case, I've got 4 as a common factor. And I've also got x minus 2. So what this is going to factorize into is x minus 2 and 3x plus 4. By the way, the 3x is from here. And the positive 4 is from there. Okay, so I've factorized it, which means I can go to the top here and rewrite this as 3x plus 4 bracket x minus 2 divided by, now in the denominator I can see that 3 is a common factor, so I'm going to take it out and I'm going to get x squared minus 4. And of course, x squared minus 4 we can factorize to x plus, hang on, let me just do this top line first. And in the bottom line, I've got x plus 2 and x minus 2. So at this rate, I can see that x minus 2 is a common factor in the numerator and the denominator. I get rid of it. And then I can rewrite this as 3x plus 4 over 3x plus 2. Now, with this question, that is all that there is. You don't need to solve it because you've kind of simplified it as far as possible. That's it. You can't do any further. Guess what? This is what a merit. Now, numerator or denominator fully factorized is going to get you an achieved. So you could get an achieved if you get the numerator right or the denominator right. And here's a tip for you guys. Whenever you do this question, particularly this simplify fraction question, right? You're always going to get one bracket that you're going to cancel out. All right. If you didn't cancel out one bracket after that like second line, then you know you've done something wrong. So in your head, guys, you guys have to actually kind of register that, I've got this quadratic over another quadratic, which means I'm going to get two brackets and one of those brackets is going to cancel out. And as long as you can get to that, you're looking at a very, very straightforward, easy merit question here. Okay. How are you guys going in the chat? Do you guys have any questions about this? Was that okay? I don't know where you got the 3x squared, 3x minus 8. Oh yeah, I see where you're going with that. How was that question, guys? Was that okay? Yeah, does that make sense? Zero, because I know you ended up with the answer first, where x equals to 2, and of course you're not the first one. I mean, we had a couple of other people that did that too. Just keep that in mind, guys. So when you have like a fraction over fraction, you're gonna end up with like another fraction almost. All right, so let's go to the last question for the night. Now hey, look, Sammy, that's all right. Like, look, you've got like another month to practice these types of questions. And if you go through that playlist that I was kind of talking about before, so where is it? I know some of you guys that are joining at the moment, if you go to my homepage and then go into level 1 exams and revision, under the MCAT worked answers, click on that full playlist. All those past exam papers are there. Like, I know they're all like long 1-hour videos, but that's pretty much it takes time to explain all the concepts and so on. So definitely plenty of time for you guys to prepare for your MCAT itself. Right, I'm going to put down question E, and I am going to see if I can answer some chat. Might just chat for a little while. This one, we will actually go through the answer at about 8:40. Nah, let's go 8:46. Yeah, no worries, Samia. I'll keep uploading some. There's like tons of resources there, Samia. There's a playlist called Level 1 MCAT Prep. Is it still there somewhere in the front page? Yeah, there is a playlist called Level 1 MCAT preparation playlist that's got like 155 videos in it, which is like single questions. And I would say even if you watch like 3 or 4 a night, you pretty much will be kind of see the repetition of the questions that they keep asking. Eric, yeah, man, I remember my year 13. I was like, I didn't want my year 13 to end. It was so much fun in my final year 13. Yeah, I guess it's different, right? I mean, like some people have a bit of a hard time at school and they just want to get out of it. I think, like, if I remember correctly, because I did year 13 twice because I was like too young to go to uni, and my mom was like, nah, you're not going to go to uni, you're going to do year 13 again. And the first time I did year 13, I was like getting ready to leave, but then the second time I did it, man, I just enjoyed it. I just like, yeah, really appreciated my time there. Same with uni. Once you get to uni, you're like, I just want to get out of uni, I want to get to work. And then when you get to work, you're like, man, uni was so much fun. Neil, like, I don't think it is the hardest. I think it's just like, it's because you guys, it's your first exam. It's a bit nervous, I would say. But I don't think so. I think that they've gotten better. Like, I know, like, last few years, they've had some horrible, not last year, but like the couple of years before that, they had some really tough questions. Yeah, I would say so, Rania. I would definitely say so. Like, I think for the last 2-3 years, every time I do tables, equations, and graphs, it takes me the longest to explain things because it's just like, oh, trying to understand the question first, and then I can't. Sometimes I don't understand the question. I'm like, I actually don't understand it. So I'll have to go to the answers to kind of decode it first as to what they're trying to ask in the question, and then I try and explain it to you guys. But honestly, some tables, equations, graphs paper I've just gone through and going, yeah, I'm gonna struggle with this one. But hopefully they kind of, I think this is probably another 1 or 2 years, and then they'll change all the standards. So who knows? This might be my last time doing MCAT if they decide to kind of change it up next year. Neil, tables, equations, and graphs is actually such a good, like, I remember back in the day, like 2013, 2014, it was such a good paper to do. But I think they had a change in 2018 or 17, and it just went crazy after that, man. I was like, for tables, jeez. Now, linear algebra is like slightly different. I mean, linear algebra is it's like 1/3 of tables, equations, and graphs. That's what it is. Because when you do tables, equations, and graphs, you do linear, quadratic, and exponential. And I remember, like, in the first few years, they never did exponential as much, and then suddenly they just brought it in, and it was just like a bit crazy. All right, guys, we're going to try and do this question at the moment, and then see if we can try and wrap things up for this session. So what do we have here? All right, I'm going to start recording this, and then I'll start kind of working through this question. Okay, so with question E, what we have got here is painting some straight lines, total length. Right, so we've actually got, so this is one line, that's 1x, got 2x, 3x, and then this right here is y, this right here is also going to be y. Now, so the total length she has for painting these lines, these 5 colored lines, is 16. So we've got our first equation, which is 3x plus 2y is equal to 16. All right, so that's the first one. The next one is, if the shaded area is 10 meters squared, find the possible values of x. Now, the area of this shape is base times height. Now, the base is equal to x, and the height is equal to y. So we can actually say, and we know that area is 10, so we can say 10 is equal to x times y. What we've got here is just an ugly quadratic, that's all. All right? Because let's think about it. We've got area is equal to 10, we've got x and y, but on the other side, we've got the perimeter of like the another equation set up, which gives the lines. So we're going to have to rearrange this, right? So we're going to rewrite this as 2y is equal to 16 minus 3x. And then we're going to write down y is equal to 16 minus 3x divided by 2. Now, the reason I did all of this is because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this y, which equals to 16 minus 3x over 2, and I'm going to replace it with this y in the area. So it's kind of like a simultaneous equations, but not really. It's more like one equation that's positive, like with addition, and the other one is with area, right? So, but we're substituting. That's what we're doing. So we're going to rewrite this as 10 equals x multiplied by 16 minus 3x over 2. So all I've done here is I've actually gotten rid of that y, and I've replaced it with 16 minus 3x over 2. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of manipulate this so I can make this into a nice quadratic equation. So the first thing I'm going to have is I'm going to put this bracket around 16 minus 3x, and I'm going to get rid of the 2. And how am I going to get rid of this? I'm going to do one extra step here. So I'm going to rewrite this as 10 equals x multiplied by 16 minus 3x divided by 2. Now, I'm going to get rid of the 2 and bring it over to the other side, which is the left-hand side, where it's going to become 2 times 10 equals x times 16 minus 3x. So what do I have here is I've actually got 20 equals, I'm going to expand the brackets now. So I've got x times 16 and x times minus 3x, which gives me 16x minus 3x squared. Rearranging this, bring all the 3x squared to this side, which will become positive 3x squared. 16x when it comes to this side becomes minus 16x plus 20 equals to 0. So at this point, what I need to do is I need to factorize and I need to figure out what x is. So I've got 3x squared minus 16x plus 20 is equal to 0. So I'm going to do that thing that I did in the previous question. And again, like I said to you guys, if you are comfortable in kind of knowing, yep, I know how to get from this quadratic into putting it into 2 brackets, by guess and check, it doesn't matter. Just go for it. All right. But I'm going to kind of work with that algorithm that I've been playing around with. So I've got positive 20 times 3 is 60. And I'm looking for something that adds to minus 16. So I'm looking for 2 numbers that multiply to 60 and they add up to minus 16. So kind of clue, gives a nice clue, negative 10 and negative 6. And also kind of looking at this, what I might actually do is I'm going to split this up in this way. Like, see, you could write it like this, right? 3x squared plus, minus 10x minus 6x plus 20 equals to 0. But when I look at these numbers, like 3 and 10, factorizing it is a bit, but then 3x squared and 6x. So I'm going to rewrite this, right? I'm going to rewrite it like this. 3x squared minus 6x minus 10x plus 20 equals to 0. Because when I do this, factorizing this by parts becomes a little bit easier. So I can actually rewrite this now as 3x bracket x minus 2. And then here, negative 10 bracket x minus 2 is equal to 0. So what do I've got here? I've got x minus 2 in one bracket. And in the other bracket, I'm going to get 3x minus 10 equals to 0. By the way, 3x is from here. The minus 10 is from there. Now I've got 2 of these brackets equal to 0. I've got to solve them. So I've got x minus 2 is equal to 0. Or 3x minus 10 is equal to 0. So in my first case, I've got x is equal to positive 2. And in my second case, my negative 10, when it goes to the other side, it becomes positive 10. Then I've got x is equal to 10 over 3. So my 2 answers, what is the question actually asking? The question's asking, find the possible values of x, which I've actually worked out. So I'm going to write down, therefore, x is equal to 2 or 10 over 3. So grades-wise, finding both possible values of x gets you an excellence. Forms an equation in one variable gets you a merit. Forms an equation in one variable. So would that mean right here? Because that's an equation in one variable. I would almost say that's actually worth a merit. Consistently solves for the equation. So let's say you make a mistake and you get the wrong answers, but then you do have all the steps correct. You could get a merit. This part right here, the very first line, is going to get you an achieved. And there's a few other things that you could potentially do. So consistently factorize it. So these are like, you do this and then you make like little mistakes in your numbers, but then you show the methodology, which means you can still get an achieved for it. So as you can see, like these types of questions, don't leave them empty, guys. Even if you start off with the wrong equation at the beginning, if you kind of work it through and they can still see that, oh, this person actually knows how to factorize. This person knows how to do quadratic expansion. So we could still potentially give a grade for that. So keep that in mind and make sure you attempt as much of this question as possible. All right, in the chat, how are we going here, guys? How was that question? What does MCAT day 1 and day 2 A and B mean? Sorry, probably a very obvious question, but new to MCAT. No, Bella, it's not an obvious question at all, because you guys come in as a year 11 and you've got no idea what's happening. But basically, how the MCAT works is like like the schools actually choose 2 days. So some schools choose for the Tuesday, and some schools choose Thursday of the week 8. And basically it's just like 2 different types, like 2 exam papers that come out. So day 1 and day 2. So sometimes like schools might say, oh, we can't do it on the Tuesday because of, I don't know, we have this particular sports day or whatever. So they can choose the day 2 as their exam then. So that's all day 1 and day 2 means. I'm not sure what the A and B means, because I'm trying to look at it. It's like, I don't think I've seen that before with A and B. Why did you extend the line at 10 equals? Ah, right, Samia. So the reason I did that is because, I'm gonna see if I can try and put this. So it's kind of like this, right? So if you actually do like 4 times 3 over 2, this is the same thing as saying 4 times 3 over 2. That's all it is. So that's why I extended that line. A and B is what shows up on my NCEA. MCAT day A. Normally they have day 1 and day 2, unless they've changed it as day A and day B. Sorry, Bella, I'm not able to, I can't help you with that A and B part. But generally they have like 2 days. Yeah, Samir, does that kind of help with that? Like it's just like when you're multiplying numbers in the numerator, so you can actually write all the numerators under the one big line when it comes to multiplication. You can't do that for addition, but you can do that for multiplication. Rania, what you can do is, I believe, well, I don't have it categorized as simultaneous equations, but like you could kind of browse through that that MCAT playlist that I keep talking about. So on the main page, that's the exams, but then right here, this playlist here, there is like lots and lots of word questions there, and so there's a mixture of simultaneous questions and a few other ones. So I would say go have a look at it and just have a practice at it. That's all I can say. It's mainly practice with these word questions. You just got to keep trying different questions, and you can't just be like, oh yeah, when I do one, I got it, and be done with it. The other thing you could also do is go back to the old exam papers and have a look at simultaneous. So the way you do it is you go to the answer schedule and you look through the answer schedule, and you can kind of see when you have X and Y, that's a simultaneous equation. So then you go back to the question and then have a go at the question and see if you get it right. That's another way you can do it as well. Right. If you guys don't have any more questions, I'll probably just hang around for a few minutes just to have a chat. Yeah, otherwise I'll catch up with you guys next week for question 3. We'll finish question 3 and then I'll upload it so other people can actually kind of watch that. So do you go live every day for the MCAT? No, I don't. Generally what happens is I end up, at the moment I'm doing level 1 on Sunday nights, but when we get closer to the exams, maybe 2 weeks before MCAT, we'll start maybe going, I might actually increase the frequency for live stream. Conic videos, wow, that was like 2014. potato. I made them back in 2014, but those were like some of my most first cringy videos that I made. Now I'm like a lot more chilled out with the videos, but back then I was like super nervous. I think it's there in level 3. So if you go into the main page, go right to the bottom under level 3 calculus, there's conics. It's there. Some of the stuff is there. But that was like way back in the day when I did those things. Yes, I have to say, like, thank you, Rania. Yeah, it's weird, right? Like, I think only my percentage of subscribers is so low, but like I was saying to the other guys the other day, man, I want to get to 100K. That's all. I just want that little trophy, that little 100K silver trophy. I don't care about anything else. I want that little silver K trophy. But my projection is like, I think by the time I get it, I'll be like 55 or 60 years old. So it's going to be a very old, long way away. Any other questions, guys, before we log off, or just chatting away at the moment? Got a few more minutes to chat before heading off. Not a problem, Zero. I mean, like, you know, like I said, man, this is my how do I put it? This is just kind of doing what I can to help. What do we need help with, Pri? Don't go barking. Don't go barking. If I have to run to go get the dog out, I do apologize. Studying for MCAT. All right. So, me, this is what I would do. All right. Practice past exam papers. Like, I cannot stress this enough for anybody that's actually getting ready for the MCAT or any exam in fact. Like, if you're doing, whether it's MCAT, tables, equations, geometry, level 2, level 3, I would say practice past exam papers. All right. Because what you guys don't realize is that, like, don't just watch my videos and just be like, oh yeah, I'm all good. Because, you know, obviously when I'm explaining things to you guys, it makes sense to you. But what you really have to do is you've got to kind of get the questions, work the questions by yourselves, make mistakes. Man, don't, like, even when you're like practicing exams, like, don't be like, oh, I don't know how to do it, I'm just gonna like leave it empty. Don't. Even at home, like, make mistakes. That's the best way you're gonna learn for MCAT. You just got to keep writing. You got to keep working on those questions, make those mistakes. And when you make those mistakes, you're going to be like, oh, why did I make that mistake? And then you come and have a look at the answer and you're like, oh, the answer doesn't make sense. Okay, let me go check out Infinity Plus One's video. You watch the video then, and then I'm trying to explain it to you. And then it kind of, those little gaps that you had, they'll start kind of making sense. And then you make some really strong connections about it. So yeah, my recommendation is past exam papers. And yeah, past exam papers, and then also practicing it at home with pen and paper, right? Like, don't just watch videos like that. That's definitely will not help you. It'll make you feel good because you're going to be like, oh yeah, I understand it. But if you want to get better at it, make sure you practice. All right. Oh, I'd love that, Bella. Yeah, man, like it would be epic because it's like I had a bet with my friend such a long time ago. Like, man, it would be crazy to hit 100K. That was like almost, I think, what was it, about 6 years ago? 6 years ago, I kind of was like, yeah, I might actually make it, but like then I lost hope. No worries, Rania. We'll catch you next time. Good night. And appreciate the sharing, Samia. That'd be cool. But yeah, long way away. Right, if there's nothing else, it's time to go watch some TV for the change. worries, no worries. All right, I'll leave you guys to it. I'm gonna come back for streaming on. I think I'm doing level 2 on Tuesday and level 3 on Thursday. But for an angle in semicircle, how do you know which angle in the triangle is 90? It's always the corner one, right? For the semicircle. Because look at it like this. Where is it? Kind of need an extra paper to work with, but I can work on the side here. No worries, Samia. See you, me. For the angle in a semicircle, how do you know which angle in the triangle is 90? So if you think about it like this, right? So in the semicircle, I'm looking at this particular angle is always going to be 90 degrees. It just is. It's just the way it is, because it's like regardless of which way, where you go at it, like that corner angle will always be 90 degrees. Don't ask me how and why, but it's because it's like, if you think about angles in the same arc, I think that's the one. So we have something like this, and it goes through the center, right? Where this is, if this is x, this is like 2x. Because in this one, this is a flat line, which is 180. Half of that is going to be 90. So that's why that angle is always at 90 degrees for a semicircle, because that other angle is always going to be 180 on the semicircle itself. All good. That was a quick, nice and easy one. Okay, guys, I think that's me today. I'll catch you guys next week. Keep an eye out on the what do you call it? Like, I think I do have a couple of level 1 MCAT questions coming on the videos for the Mondays and Wednesdays. So keep an eye out for it. And if you do have any questions, just make sure you send them to my email, and then I'll try and get to them when I can. But till then, take care and have a good week, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.